So the other thing I wish I could have told myself in my 20s is you can still have more fun. There's some weird misconception that I had growing up, and I don't know if you guys share the same sentiment, but it's kind of like you have to do all the traveling, all the partying, and all the fun things in your 20s. But I don't think that's true. I mean, there are certain clubs that you probably don't want to be in when you're 30 and maybe get that out of your system when you're 20. I feel like traveling and exploring the world and doing a lot of things in your 30s is so much better than in your 20s because you have more money and you can do it in style, in comfort, in class. And you can actually, when you're in a country and you're traveling, you can do more experiences when you have more money. I remember traveling in my 20s. It's a completely new experience, and I guess everyone has different tastes, but you're always like kind of budgeting and penny pinching, and there are things that you wanted to do in a certain country that you literally can't do because like you can't afford it, right? And so in your 30s, it's like you can, and you can have a lot more fun. So I don't think there's any rush to go and do everything and have all the fun in your 20s. The only exception is if you do plan on starting a family, for the first couple of years, it would be hard to go travel while you have small kids and everything like that. So of course, everyone's path is different. But honestly, I see a lot of people in their 30s having just as much fun in their 20s. The fun does look different, but it's not like your life ends at 30 and like you have to pack it all in your 20s. In fact, in your 20s, I think it's really good to pace yourself with the fun and then spend some time on your career and really building yourself out and investing in your own skills and talents. In your 20s, that's when you get a lot of skills and knowledge, and you still have the energy and the learning capacity to really grind, as they say. But like I learned a lot in my 20s, and I don't think I would have had the same amount of energy to learn that in my 30s. So I think if I spent a lot of my 20s having a ton of fun and then trying to learn new skills in my 30s, it's not like it's impossible. But for some reason in your 20s, your brain is just like a sponge, and you just sponge experience and skills and talent. Investing in experiences in your career in your 20s will really set yourself up financially in your 30s so that you can really have a lot of fun and enjoy the comforts and not be stressed in your 30s. The other thing I realized is like in your 20s, you are completely brainwashed. What I mean by this is like when I think about the decisions I made in my 20s and what I felt and what I thought, I was like brainwashed by my parents, my friends, and society. Like I did not really think for myself in my 20s. Like I thought I was thinking for myself in my 20s, but when I actually reflect back on it, a lot of the things that I thought was like told to me by someone else. And I really wasn't in a position where I was really making my own decisions for myself. And this is something that I focus a lot in my creator mindset course, is to really teach you and go through exercises to help you think for yourself. Because I realized my first initial career choices were not made by me. It was made by what I thought society wanted of me, what my parents wanted of me, what would make me a good person, what would make me seem like a successful person. It was a lot of posturing for other people rather than living my own life. I was really living for everyone around me. And I think it's because in your 20s, it's like that insecurity where you're really not that sure of yourself. So instead of like being convicted by what you really think, it's like you default to what other people want of you, because the validation and all the attention you get from doing what other people want you to do just feels so good in your 20s. And it kind of overshadows you chasing what you want. At that time, you don't really know what it feels like to kind of do whatever you want, because you spend your whole teens obviously under the guidance of your parents. You don't really have your own autonomy. You're not really an adult. So you've never been trained to like think for yourself. You just know how to listen to someone, how to follow rules, how to follow school rules, how to follow society rules, how to fit in with your friends and your peer group so you can be popular. It's just listening to everyone else instead of your own heart. So yeah, I was completely brainwashed in my 20s. I think you just kind of have to go through it to realize that you are brainwashed. But, becoming more aware of it, like now, if you're like younger than 30s, like even becoming aware of it now, anytime, is like a good thing to be aware of, because it's like getting back that control over your life.